Hi guys, today we are going to see what is a file system redirection and how can we overcome it using Python. So first of all, if you are using Windows 64-bit version, on the 64-bit versions of the Windows, uh, you have two types of folders in the Windows folder. For example, you will see System32 and the SysWow64 folder. So what are these two? So System32 contains all the 64-bit related files such as 64-bit related DLL files and their programs, Windows related files. Everything is stored in the System32 files. All it contains is 64-bit related files, while this one contains SysWow64 folder contains 32-bit related DLL files and then 32-bit related programs. So when a 32-bit application tries to access System32, the OS will automatically redirect it to the SysWow64 folder. So for example, I'm going to I have already created a folder called testing Python. So I'll delete it. I'll create a new folder called testing Python YouTube. So we have created a folder called testing Python and short form of the YouTube. So I'm going to open up the VS Code and I'm going to import OS module. So I'm going to create os.path.x. So here we need to give that path. If it exists, it will print true. Else it will print false. So since we have already created a folder and it exists in the System32 folder, so here you can see guys, you can see our folder exists in this System32 folder. So let me run the code. Let's see, it should print true, but let's see what happens. See here, it prints false. So what actually is happening here is, as I said, I am using Python 32-bit version. So when a 32-bit version of application tries to access System32 folder, it will be redirected to the SysWow64 folder. So for example, so what happened here is, it is actually searching for testing Python YouTube in SysWow64 folder instead of System32 folder. So let me delete it here. And then create that folder in this SysWow64 folder. And then I'm going to name the testing Python YouTube. So as you can see guys, we have deleted this folder from the System32 and here created this folder in this SysWow64 folder. So if I run this code now, it says true. So as you can see, it is actually searching for this folder in the SysWow64 instead of System32 folder. As I said already, the OS will redirect the 32-bit version of applications to the SysWow64 when they try to access System32 folder. So how can we overcome it? So let me delete that folder first. And then I'm going to create the same folder here. Testing Python YouTube. Okay guys, now we have created the folder. We need to disable the system redirection. So in order to disable the system redirection, we need to call a function from kernel32 DLL. So here is the function name. You can see in the Microsoft documentation. Here you can see how to disable function and then enable function. So what we are going to do now is we are going to disable this file system redirection and then enable it back after our work is done. So here you can see this is the function we are going to call, and then this is the argument it expects. Pointer to the void pointer. Let me import C types. Since we need to enable since we need to disable the file system redirection and re-enable it after our work is done, I am going to make it as a context manager class. I am going to create a class called file system redirection. So here I am going to create a variable called old value. Here I am going to give C types dot C void pointer. So here we have created the C void pointer. Now I am going to create a function enter. So here I am going to pass self here I am going to create a variable called success is equal to C types dot when DLL dot, you have to see the DLL, which DLL contains this function. So here you can see it is in the kernel32 DLL. So you can just copy the name dot. So since we are going to call this function, I'm going to copy this and then copy paste it here, and then here we need to pass the pointer to this variable. So C types dot byref old value, self dot old value. So after it successfully disables it, it will return a value which is not 0. So here you can see return value, if it succeeds, the return value is a non-zero value. Since you can see, if the function fails, the return value is 0. So after our work is done, after our checking is done, we need to re-enable the file system redirection back. So I'm going to create another function called exit self type value trace back, and then here I'm going to check if self dot success since it's going to return a non-zero value, I'm checking if self.success, we need to disable it. So c types windll dot kernel 32 dot. So now we are going to call this reward function, which is going to enable the file system redirection back. So I'm going to copy this function name and then give it here, and it requires the void pointer old value. So we are going to pass the old value we have created already. So let me with file system redirection. So let me explain what this code going to do. If you already know context manager in Python, then it's fine. If you don't know, let me explain. So what this code going to do is, when it execute this first, it's going to execute this function first. For example, it's going to create the old value, and then it's going to disable the file system redirection, and then it will run this code. It will run this block of code. After it executes all the code in this block, it will finally run this exit function code, and it will enable the file system redirection back. So first of all, let me run the code. Here you should see this. We have already created that file in the system32 folder. So we should see true. It should print true now. So let me run this code again. Oh, sorry. Oh, there is a spelling mistake. As you can see, it gets true. The file path exists, so it prints true. If I run this code outside of this context manager, you should see, since we have disabled the file system redirection, it prints true because it can find the folder. Then when we run the code outside of the context manager, we have enabled the file system redirection back, we see that it prints false. So that's it, guys. This is how you can overcome file system redirection issues using Python 32-bit version. So thank you, guys. Thank you for watching my video.